Okay, let's just jump right in. We are doing a deep dive today into a stack of declassified files that honestly it sounds like pure science fiction.
It really does. But it was all funded by the U.S. intelligence community.
Right. We're talking psychic spies, Cold War espionage, and a search for what might be the single most significant biblical relic in history,
The Ark of the Covenant.
the Ark of the Covenant. And this story, it's been getting a lot of traction again recently.
Yeah, in 2025, you started seeing all these headlines pop up again, mainly because of claims from people like Ed Danes.
And he's saying he located the Ark using remote viewing.
Exactly. But what's interesting is he's really just following a trail that was blazed, decades ago by actual government assets.
So that's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack the actual declassified CIA documents, specifically from secretive programs like Project Sunstreak and, of course, the famous Stargate.
And we're going to look at what their psychic spies reported when they were told to zero in on the Ark, which in the files is only referred to as the container.
You know, it's important to set the context here. This wasn't some whim. The government didn't just decide to start looking into psychics for fun.
No, not at all. It was a direct response to the Cold War. The U.S. military and intelligence agencies, they genuinely believed the Soviets were making huge advances in their own paranormal research.
So it became a clandestine race.
A race to weaponize human consciousness for reconnaissance, using what they called psionic abilities, or ESP.
An arms race where the battlefield was literally the human mind. The idea that you could look at any target anywhere in the world without ever leaving a room.
Precisely. And while they officially terminated Stargate in 1995, and the files were declassified around 2000, the source material we have strongly implies the research never really stopped.
And it's not just the U.S., is it?
No. Sources suggest Russia, China, they're all still heavily invested in this kind of technology.
Okay, so let's start with the basics then. What exactly is remote viewing, or RV, in the context of these programs? How do you even get from psychic ability to a military intelligence tool?
Well, at its core, RV was espionage, but through consciousness. They would find individuals who had some kind of documented, heightened sense.
An aptitude for it.
Exactly. And they'd use them for high-stakes intelligence gathering, viewing distant or, heavily protected targets from a secure facility.
But the CIA, the DIA, they'd need more than just a hunch to pour millions into this. They needed some kind of scientific theory to back it up.
They did, and this is where it gets pretty abstract. The source material ties it directly to advanced physics.
Quantum mechanics, right?
Right. The theory, as it's laid out, it posits that human consciousness isn't locally bound.
Meaning it's not just stuck inside your brain.
Not just in your brain at one point in space and time.
Hmm.
Instead, they theorize it exists in what they call a complex space-time continuum.
Okay, a complex space-time continuum. Can you break that down for us?
Think of it like a universal field of information. The theory suggests everything is connected through a form of quantum entanglement. So even if you're physically miles from a target, mathematically or maybe energetically, there's always a path between you and that target where the distance adds up to zero.
So your mind can theoretically travel that distance instantly. Because in that other dimension, there is no distance. It's like an instantaneous connection.
That is the core concept. The mind is sort of navigating this massive continuum to find that one specific connection. And that's why you see the DIA partnering with places like the Stanford Research Institute back in the 70s. They were trying to map it out.
But wait a second. If the physical distance is zero and we're all connected, why isn't everyone just remote viewing everything all the time?
That's the key difficulty. The source material notes that while the connections are everywhere, the ability to filter the data,
To tune into the right channel.
exactly, to tune the receiver to a specific target without just getting overwhelmed by static, that's what's exceedingly rare. It takes years of training, a very strict methodology to separate the signal from the noise.
Which explains why the military would spend a fortune to find and train the very few who could do it.
For sure. And we know they weren't just looking for, Soviet missile silos.
No. The same remote viewer who targeted the Ark was first given coordinates for a target that was much, much stranger.
Cydonia, on Mars.
On Mars. And he reported seeing structures, evidence of past oceans, an atmosphere.
Even suggestions of a civilization that had contact with Earth. It just shows you how broad their targets were. If they believed RV could look into ancient Martian history, finding an artifact on Earth was definitely on the table.
All right, so let's get to that target. December 5th, 1988. CIA remote viewer number 32 Joseph McMonigle, is tasked with viewing an object referred to only as container.
And the description he provides is just so meticulous, it leaves very little doubt they believed he had found the Ark of the Covenant.
The CIA was obviously very interested. I mean, you can imagine the political power associated with it. That old saying.
He who controls the Ark controls the world.
Let's go through the report's physical description, straight from the declassified files. He said the container was somewhere in the Middle East. It was hidden deep underground in a place that was dark and wet.
And the physical details, they match the biblical accounts almost perfectly. He described it as made of wood, gold, and silver.
Specifically, acacia wood, overlaid with gold inside and out.
Yes, and the dimensions he gave, about 3 3/4 feet long by 2 1/4 feet wide, that aligns exactly with what's in the book of Exodus.
And he also saw something inside it.
He did. He reported that the container had another container inside of it.
Which is almost certainly a reference to the 2 stone tablets.
The 10 Commandments, the central purpose of the Ark.
This is where the session gets really symbolic, though. The documents have sketches he drew. What did those show?
They showed a few things. Depictions of mosques, which suggested the general area was Muslim populated. He drew mummies. But the most crucial sketch...
The winged creature.
Yes, a clear drawing of a winged creature that he himself labeled seraphim.
And that detail is just so critical, isn't it? For anyone who doesn't know the iconography, the seraphim are the angelic figures on the lid of the Ark, the mercy seat.
Which is described as Jehovah's literal throne. So seeing that sketch, it validates the target in a way that just dimensions couldn't.
Exactly. But the viewing wasn't just about what it looked like. He experienced some very intense things, especially about how it was being protected.
Oh, yeah. The report says the container is protected by a power unknown to us.
And guarded by entities.
Yes.
Or non-humans.
Yes. And he also described the people in the area, clothed in white, black hair, dark eyes, clearly suggesting Arab inhabitants.
And then there's this chilling warning right there in the declassified file.
It's incredible. McMonigle reported that any unauthorized person who tries to open it, by force, they're destroyed by the container's protectors.
Through the use of a power unknown to us.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a severe threat assessment for an intelligence report.
It is. And he also reported that its unveiling was restricted. It cannot be opened until the time is deemed correct.
And the purpose wasn't destructive. It was spiritual.
Surprisingly so. To bring people together. He used words like ceremony, memory, homage, and even resurrection. It supposedly contains historical knowledge far beyond what we know.
Okay, so the initial geography was a bit vague. It just suggested a Muslim country. The CIA files presumed maybe Saudi Arabia, Yemen, maybe Petra in Jordan.
Right, and this is the point where the declassified government files start to intersect with the really controversial claims of the late amateur archaeologist Ron Wyatt.
Wyatt, who claimed he actually found the Ark.
He did. He asserted he found it in a place called Jeremiah's Grotto. It's about 40 feet, or 12 meters, directly below the traditional site of the crucifixion at Golgotha.
So that's in Old Jerusalem. It's not Petra. But does Wyatt's site, which a lot of people dispute, does it actually fit the other details from the CIA report?
Well, this is what's so strange. Geopolitically, yes. The RV files described an urban area surrounded by mosques with Arabic speakers.
And Wyatt's dig site.
It's right in the middle of a very sensitive, very populated part of Old Jerusalem. It's surrounded by several mosques. There's a Muslim bus depot right there, and it's all under Palestinian Authority control.
So it perfectly fits the context. Arabic speakers in white, urban area, Muslim structures.
It's a perfect match.
And then there's the Guardians. The RV session reported these entities guarding the Ark, warning of fatal consequences.
And Wyatt's story connects directly to that. He claimed he didn't just find the Ark, he encountered and spoke with 2 angels' physical beings guarding the site.
So he put a name to the non-human entities.
He did. He said they explicitly told him they were commissioned to protect the Ark and the other temple furnishings that were hidden there.
And Wyatt's personal account of the dangers, it lines up perfectly with the RV warning.
It really does. He told this story about an attempt by some Israeli personnel to retrieve the artifacts after he found them. According to him, they were struck dead on the spot.
Which is exactly what the report warned about. The protectors using a power unknown to us.
Yes, the sources all emphasize these things are just too powerful to be handled by anyone unauthorized.
So let's pivot a little to the political stakes.
Hmm.
Why would the Ark capture the CIA's attention so intensely? This is clearly about more than just archaeology.
Oh, way more. Its historical power alone is immense. The sources remind us, it was housed at Shiloh for 300 years, it parted the Jordan River, it defeated enemies in battle. Jeremiah hid it in 587 BC to protect it from the Babylonians.
So the political fallout of its unveiling today would be, catastrophic.
It would be geopolitical chaos. Its rediscovery would instantly upset the entire global political and religious order.
Forcing the issue of the Third Temple.
Absolutely. It would give huge momentum to Jewish groups who want to claim their promised land and rebuild the temple, which would almost certainly spark a massive conflict with the Muslim world. The stakes couldn't be higher.
And because it's such a powerful symbol, the sources offer these wildly different interpretations of what its future unveiling would actually mean.
Right. There are three main perspectives that come up again and again.
Let's start with the most unconventional one, the ancient alien view.
Okay, so this perspective says the Ark isn't a religious relic at all. It's an alien device. A powerful communication transmitter, maybe, that contains advanced metaphysical knowledge.
And the guardians, the seraphim.
In this view, they aren't angels. They're highly advanced extraterrestrials or maybe interdimensional beings who will return during some kind of great awakening to guide humanity.
Okay, then you have the biblical prophecy interpretation. This one is much more focused on end times events.
That view suggests the unveiling will happen during what's known as Daniel's 70th week, or the tribulation period.
And it involves a false Messiah.
A false Jewish Messiah, yeah. The Antichrist. The theory is that this figure will use the tablets inside the Ark to confirm the covenant, uniting the world under this hybrid Luciferian religious system.
And the ultimate blasphemy would be this figure taking his seat on the mercy seat itself.
Fulfilling the prophecy of the abomination of desolation.
And the third view, the redemption view. This one is based entirely on Ron Wyatt's specific claim about the Ark's location.
Right. This is Wyatt's unique contribution. He believed that when Jesus was crucified, the earthquake that happened at that moment caused a crack in the rock.
A crevasse.
A crevasse, and that Jesus' blood trickled down through it, landing directly on the mercy seat of the Ark, hidden below.
Symbolizing what?
Symbolizing that his sacrifice reversed the curse for humanity, fulfilling the covenant represented by the tablets inside. He saw this as the central message of redemption, one he believed was being actively suppressed by the Luciferian powers that be.
It's just an extraordinary convergence of topics, isn't it? You've got declassified espionage reports, quantum entanglement physics, and 2,500-year-old prophecies all pointing to one hidden golden box.
It really forces you to move past the idea that these are just myths. I mean, when the world's most powerful intelligence agencies are taking the paranormal this seriously, you have to acknowledge the gravity of what the sources are claiming.
The CIA's own remote viewer said the Ark's purpose is to bring people together, and that its lock is fairly simple once the time is right. So here's the final thought for you. If this is truly the most powerful relic in the world, what global event or series of events will be considered chaotic enough to finally mandate its rollout to be the one thing that brings the world together, regardless of the fatal consequences for anyone who tries to get to it too soon?